Shalom, shalom. This is Yahweh. Alright, I'm about to start the reading of the popol. This is the new book, popol. And of course, you see all my other books. And this is the book King Philip. So y'all get ready. It's about to go down. Alright, so we're going to start the first page. This is a picture of an altar. So, here we go. And that's a glass, wine glass, if y'all want to know. The noise in the background is an air fryer. I'm cooking some steaks. Wow. And my wife calls me. Okay, here we go. This is the beginning of the ancient word here in this place called Queche. Here we shall inscribe, we shall implant the ancient word, the potential and source of everything. For everything, done in the citadel of Queche, in the nation of Queche people. And here we shall take up the demonstration, revelations and account of how things were put in the shadows and brought to light by the maker, modeler, named bearer, begotter, Hanapu, possum, Hanapu, coyote, great white, peccary, tapir, sovereign, plumed serpent, heart of the lake, heart of the sea, maker of the blue and green plate, maker of the blue green bowl. I'm gonna give y'all a reference of what they mean by plate and bowl. So if you look here, this was a dish, a saucer, but this is a plate. And I'll take this cup out. And this is a bowl, right? Which y'all should know. But what y'all didn't know is that the earth is like this plate right here. And everything's on it, the water, the mountains, and everything. And the bowl is the firmament that goes over the earth like so. So this is what the earth looks like. This is why he said the earth is his footstool. So it's a dome over the earth, and the earth is a plate. Just so you know. That's why when Ezekiel said he saw the circumference of the earth, he was talking about that way, not like a ball, because it's not. And I actually had a dream, and I saw pretty much the same thing. Like the earth was round, like, well, not round, but like a dish. And I saw the wall of ice and stuff like that. It was a crazy dream, but that's what it looked like to me. All right. As they are called, also named as described as the midwife, matchmaker, named Exapakot or Exmukane, defender, protector, twice a midwife, twice a matchmaker. Just so y'all know, this also is like the Mayan Bible, so it goes a little bit more in depth in Genesis of the creation. And if you really pay attention, it's actually explaining a little bit more than what happened when it says the Most High face moved across the waters. It's a little bit more in depth than just that. And the brothers should be able to pull a lot of precepts out of this. As is said in the word of Queche, they accounted for everything and did it too, as enlightened beings and enlightened words. We shall write about this now, amend the preaching of the God in Christendom. Another thing, understand this is translated, so there's going to be what they call a hijack, lies, where they're going to stick their own little words in there. So you get the meat, throw away the bone. We shall bring it out because there is no longer a place to see it, a council book, a place to see the light that came from across the sea, the account of our place in the shadows, a place to see the dawn of life, as it is called. There is the original book and ancient writing, but he who reads and ponders it hides his face. It takes a long performance and account to complete the emergence of all the sky, earth. The fourfold sighting, the fourfold cornering, measuring, fourfold stacking, halving the cord, stretching the cord in the sky, on the earth, the four sides, the four corners, as it is said, by the maker, modeler, mother, and mother, father of life, the humankind, giver of breath, Hawa, or what y'all say, Yahweh. He's the giver of breath. The mother is the Holy Spirit, the giver of the heart, bearer. And this is, it miss around and tell us too. Upbringer in the light, that last of those born in the light, begotten in the light, warrior, knower of everything, whatever there is, sky, earth, lake, sea. This is the account. Here it is. Now it is still ripples. Now it still murmurs, ripples. It still sighs. It hums. Hum is the frequency, I would think, the 432. And it is empty under the sky. Here follow the first words, the first eloquence. Sorry. There is not yet one person, one animal, one bird, fish, crab, tree, rock, hollow, canyon, meadow, forest, only the sky alone is there. The face of the earth is not clear. Only the sea alone is pooled under all the sky. There is nothing whatever gathered together. It is at rest. I'm gonna wait for this beep to stop. It is at rest. Not a single thing stirs. It is held back, kept at rest under the sky. Whatever there is that might be is simple, not there. Only the pooled water, only the calm sea. Only it alone is pooled. Whatever might be is simply not there. Only murmurs, ripples in the dark, in the night. Only the maker, modeler alone. Sovereign, plumed serpent, Yahweh. I'm saying Yahweh, but Hawa. Plumed serpent. The bearers, begetters, are in the water. The glittering light. They are there. They are enclosed in Quetzal's feathers in the green blue. That's the plumed serpent, his feathers. And if you read Isaiah, it also says he will cover them with his feathers. That's a precept right there. I really don't remember the verse and chapter, but if somebody's really learned in the scriptures, they know what I'm talking about. The Most High say he's going to cover them with his feathers. Thus the name plumed serpent. They are great knowers, great thinkers in their very being. And of course, there is the sky, and there is also the heart of the sky. This is the name of the God as it is spoken. And then came his word. He came here to the sovereign plumed serpent, here in the blackness, in the early dawn. He spoke with the sovereign plumed serpent, and they talked, then they thought, then they worried. They agreed with each other. They joined their words, their thoughts. Then it was clear. Then they reached accord in the light, and then humanity was clear. When they conceived the growth, the generations of trees, of bushes, and the growth of life, of humankind, in the blackness, in the early dawn, all because of the heart of the sky, named hurricane, thunderbolt, hurricane, comes first. The second is newborn, thunderbolt, and the third is raw, thunderbird. So there were three of them as the heart of the sky, who came to the sovereign plumed serpent when the dawn of life was conceived. How should it be sown? How should it be? How should dawn, who is to be the provider, nurturer? Let it be this way. Think about it. This water should be removed, emptied out for the formation of the earth on plate and platform. Then comes the sowing and dawning of the sky, earth. But there will be no high days, no bright praise for our work, our design, until the rise of human work, the human design, they said. And then the earth arose because of them. It was simply their word that brought it forth. You hear this, right? He said, let there be light, and there was light. He said, let the land come forth, and it did. You hear this, right? For the forming of the earth, they said earth. It arose suddenly, just like a cloud, like a mist now forming, unfolding. Now remember, the scripture says wisdom was with the Most High in the beginning. Remember that. Then the mountains, that's in Genesis, were separated from the waters. All at once the great mountains came forth by their genius alone, by their cutting edge alone. They carried out the conception of the mountain plain, whose face grew instant groves and cypress and pines. And the plumed serpent was pleased with this. It was good. Y'all hear this? The Most High said it was good. That it came, heart of the sky, hurricane and newborn, thunderbolt, raw thunderbolt. Our work, our design will turn out well, they said. And the earth was formed first. The mountain plain, the channels of the waters were separated. Their branches wound their waves among the mountains. The waters were divided when the great mountains appeared. Such was the formation of the earth when it was brought forth by the heart of the sky, heart of the earth, as they are called. Don't they call the Most High the heart of the earth? Since they were the first to think of it. The sky was set apart, and the earth was set apart in the midst of the waters. Yo, this is crazy. Such was their plan. When they worried about the completion of their work. Now they planned the animals of the mountains, all the guardians of the forest, creatures of the mountains, the deers, birds, pumas, jaguars, serpents, rattlesnakes, yellow bites, guardians of the bushes. The bearer, begetter, spoke. Why this pointless humming? Why should there merely be rustling beneath the trees and bushes? Indeed, they had better have guardians. The others replied. As soon as they thought it and said it, dear birds came forth, and then they gave out homes to the deers and birds. You deer, sleep along the rivers and the canyons. Be here in the meadows, in the thickets, in the forests. Multiply yourselves. You will stand and walk on all fours, they were told. So then they established the nests of birds, small and great. You precious birds, your nests, your houses are in the trees, in the bushes. Multiply there, scatter there, in the branches of trees, the branches of bushes. The deer and birds were told. When this deed had been done, all of them had received a place to sleep and a place to stay. It is that the nest of the animals are on the earth, given by the bearer begetter. Now, the arrangement of the deer and birds was complete. And then the deer and the birds who were told by the maker, molder, bearer, and begetter, talk, speak out, don't moan, don't cry out. Please talk each to each. Within each kind, within each group, they were told the deer, birds, pumas, jaguars, serpents. Name now our names, praise us. We are your mother, we are your father. Speak now, you hear that? Holy Spirit, your mother, Most High, your father. Honor your mother and your father. Hurricane, newborn thunderbolt, raw thunderbolt. Heart of the sky, heart of the earth, maker, modeler, bearer, begetter. These are the names of the Most High. Speak, pray to us, keep our days. They were told, but it didn't turn out that they spoke like people. They just squawked, they just chattered, they just howled. It wasn't apparent what language they spoke. Each one gave a different cry. When the maker, modeler heard this, it hasn't turned out well. They haven't spoken, they said among themselves. It hasn't turned out that our names have been named, since we are their masons and sculptors. This will not do. The bearers and begetters said among themselves. So they told them, you will simply have to be transformed. Since it hasn't turned out well, and you haven't spoken, we have changed our word. What you feed on, what you eat, the place where you sleep, the places where you stay, whatever is yours will remain in the canyons and forests. Although it turned out that our days were not kept, nor did you pray to us. There may yet be strength in the keeper of days, the giver of praise, whom we have yet to make. Just accept your service. Just let your flesh be eaten. So be it. This must be your service. They were told when they were instructed, the animals small and great on the face of the earth. And then they wanted to test their timing again. When they wanted to experiment again, and they wanted to prepare for the keeping the days again. They had not heard this speech among the animals. It did not come to fruition, and it was not complete. And so their flesh was brought low. They served, they were eaten, they were killed, the animals on the face of the earth. Now, I still want y'all to remember, these people will put in hijacks, so they will try to make the Most High and the Holy Spirit sound like they're not all-knowing and they make mistakes. Y'all got to understand that. So remember, you take the meat, you throw away the bone. Again, there comes an experiment with the human work, the human design by the maker, modeler, bearer, begotter. It must simplify, be tried again. The time for planting and dawning is nearing. For this we must make a provider of nurturer. How else can we be invoked and remembered on the face of the earth? We have already made our first try at work and design, but it turned out that they didn't keep our days, nor they glorify us. So now let's try to make a giver of praise, a giver of respect, provider, nurturer, they said. So then comes the building and working with the earth, mud. They made a body, but it did not look good to them. It was just separating, just crumbling, just loosening, just softening, just integrating, and just dissolving. Its head wouldn't turn either. Its face was just lopsided. Its face was just twisted. It couldn't look around. It talked at first, but senselessly. It was quickly dissolving in the water. It won't last. The mason sculpture said then, it seems to be dwindling away, so let's let it just dwindle. It can't walk, and it can't multiply, so let it be merely a thought, they said. Then they spoke to them, one of them, a grandmother, the other grandfather. This is the grandfather. This is the master of the coral seeds. Epakak or something like that is his name. And this is the grandmother, the daykeeper, diviner, who stands behind others. Amongst Khan is her name. And they said, as they set out the days, just let it be found, just let it be discovered. Say it. Our ear is listening. May you talk, may you speak. Just find the wood for the carving and sculpting by the builder's sculpture. Is this to be the provider, the nurturer, when it comes to planting and donning? You corn kernels, you coral seeds, you days, you lots, you make succeed. You may be accurate. They said the corn kernels, the corn seeds, days, lots have shamed you up there. Heart of the sky, attempt no deception before the mouth and face of the sovereign plumed serpent, they said. Then they spoke straight to the point. It is well that there be your mankinins, wood carvings, talking, speaking, there on the face of the earth. So be it, they replied. The moment they spoke, it was done. The mankinins, wood carvings, human in looks, and human in speech. This was the peopling of the face of the earth. They came into being. They multiplied. They had daughters. They had sons. These mankinins, wood carvings. But there was nothing in their hearts and nothing in their minds. No memory of their masons and builders. They just went and walked wherever and walked wherever they wanted. Now they did not remember the heart of the sky, and so they fell, just an experiment, and just a cutout from humankind. They were talking at first, but their faces were dry. Yo, I read this too in the it was a Mayan. Matter of fact, it's in one of this book I got right here. This book, it's no, not this book. It's upstairs. But I know it's Mayan Aztec temples. I read it in there. Humankind, they were talking at first, but their faces were dry. They were not yet developed in legs and arms. They had no blood, no lymph. They had no sweat, no fat. Their complexions were dry. Their faces were crusty. They fell. Their legs and arms, their bodies were deformed. And so they accomplished nothing before the maker and modeler who gave them birth, gave them heart. They became the first numerous people here on the face of the earth. Again, there comes humiliation, destruction, and demolition of mankinins. Wood carvings were killed when the heart of the sky devised a flood for them. Oh, wow. A great flood was made. It came down on the heads of the mankinins, wood carvings. The man's bodies were carved from the wood of the coral tree by the maker and modeler. And as for the woman, the maker and modeler needed the pitch of reed for the woman's body. They were not competent, okay, nor did they speak before the builder and sculptor who made them and brought them forth. And so they were killed, done in by the flood. There came the rain of resin from the sky. There came the one named Guger of faces who gouged out their eyeballs. There came sudden blood letter He snapped off their heads. There came crunching jaguar, he ate their flesh. There came tearing jaguar, who tore them open. They were pounding the bones and tendons, smashed and pulverized even to the bones. Their faces were smashed because they were incompetent before their mother and their father, the heart of this god named Hurricane. The earth was blackened because of this. The black rainstorm began rain all day, all night. Into their houses came the animals, small and great. Their faces were crushed by things of wood and stone. Everything spoke. Their water jars, their tortillas, girdles, their plates, their cooking pots, their dogs, their grinding stones, each and everything crushed their faces. Their dogs and turkeys told them, "You caused us pain, you ate us, but now it is you whom we shall eat." And thus is the grinding of the stone. Hey, you know what? I'll just peep something. It said that they were dumb, right? So it's not saying that they were like stupid dumb. They were ignorant of the Most High. They were actually worshiping idols. That's what this saying. You gotta put it together, because how did they make grinding stones, plates, pots, and stuff like that? They were dumb. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. We were undone because of you. Every day, in the dark, in the dawn, forever. Rip, rip, rub, rub, right in your faces because of you. This was the service we gave you at first, when you were still people. You hear that? But today you will learn of our power. We shall pound and shall grind your flesh. Their grinding stones told them. They were dumb, they wouldn't know how to do that. And this is what their dogs said when they spoke in their turn. Why is it you can't seem to give us our food? We just watched and you just kept us down. And you threw us around. You kept a stick ready when you ate, just so you can hit us. That sounds like people today. You don't talk, so we receive nothing from you. How can you not have known? You did know that we were wasting away there behind you. So this very day, you will taste the teeth of our mouths. Wow. We shall eat you. Their dogs told them, and their faces were crushed. Wow. And then the tortilla, griddles, and cooking pots spoke to them in turn. Pain, that all you have done for us. Our mouths are salty, over faces are salty. But by sitting us on the fire all the time, you burn us. Since we felt no pain, you try it. We shall burn you. Oh wow, all their cooking pots, seeing crushing their faces. The stones, their hearthstones, were shooting out, coming right out of the fire, going for their heads, causing them pain. Now they run for it, helter skelter. They want to climb up on the houses, but they fell as the houses collapsed. They want to climb up the trees. They're thrown off by the trees. They want to get inside caves, but the caves slam shut in their faces. So it's like a riddle, but it's pretty much telling you it's the deluge. Such was the scattering of the human work, the human design. The people were ground down, overthrown. The mouths and faces of all of them were destroyed and crushed. And it used to be said that the monkeys in the forest today are a sign of this. And that's something. They were left as a sign because wood alone was used for a flesh by the builder and sculptor. So this is why monkeys look like people. Wow. They are a sign of a previous human work, human design, mere maintenance, mere wood carvings. Meaning they didn't have a knowledge of the Most High. That's what that is. Yeah. Thus was, well, the Most High and our mother wisdom. This was when there was just a trace of early dawn, and on the face of the earth there was no sun. But there was one who magnified himself. Seven Macau is his name. The sky earth was already there, but the face of the sun, moon was clouded over. Even so, it is said that the light provided a sign for the people who were flooded. He was like a person of genius in his being. I am great. My place is now higher than that of the human work, the human design. I am their sun. I am their light, and I am also their mouths. So be it. My light is great. I am the walkway. I am the foothold of the people, because my eyes are metal. My teeth just glitter with jewels and turquoise as well. They stand out blue with stones like the face of the sky. And this nose of mine shines white into the distance like the moon. Since my nest is metal, it lights up the face of the earth. When I come forth before my nest, I am like the sun and moon. For those who are born in the light, begotten in the light, it must be so, because my face reaches into the distance, says Seven Macau. It is not true that he is the sun, the Seven Macau, yet he magnifies himself. His wings is metal, but the scope of his face lies right around his own perch. His face does not reach everywhere beneath the sky. The face of the sun, moon, and stars are not yet visible. It has not yet dawned. And so Seven Macau puffs himself up as the day and the months, though the light of